Oh, Canada. Yeah, okay, no, I'm not doing that. I was gonna make fun of it and try to sing Canada's national anthem, but that'd be a little bit too far if I did that. It's not even spelled correctly. It's Canada, not Canada. Har har har. Yeah, whatever. Let's just get into it. It is I, Menace Snowdecker, and welcome back to another YouTube video of Beyblade Land. Once it's done loading here in just a moment. Have you tried swimming in lava? I have. It sucks. Yeah, thank you. So, I did some changes. Wrong button. There we go. Look at my ceiling. It is glorious. It's beautiful. Oh, whoops. Boop. There we go. We now almost have 1/4 of the main floor of this whole room completely done, with unique items that are only exclusive to Beyblade X. And this is paradise. We have a red and black string launcher. We have a drop attack stadium. We have a standardized X launcher. We have a 3D printed gripper to attach on the ends of said launchers. And now we're about to add just one more thing in here. I might have space for one more build. If I do, I'll try to pick out something to put in here later. But for now, we're doing one of the most important releases of the Beyblade X era. The BeyLogger. Mine doesn't have a top to it, so I'm going to have to use an image for reference, unfortunately. But because I'm already going to have a shape, because I got this whole thing in person, that'll be pretty simple. Why don't I have a top to it? That's simple. I lost it. No, I'm serious. I don't know where it is. I was out walking one day. I used to carry my launcher on me 24/7 every time I went out because I'm a Beyblader. It's kind of an expectation. I always have a launcher on me and a bay somewhere on me. And sometimes even a stadium inside my car. I am serious. I literally go that far. And I had a 3D printed holder to hold my launcher on me. But because I modified mine slightly, I had a level on it. It was really small, really compact, and I actually hot glued it on the top of the plastic piece here, which was kind of smart. But because of how I hot glued it, it always got caught on my fabric, and eventually it would just pop off, because these aren't really that strong, I'm going to be honest. And usually every single person who sees it says like, hey, I think you dropped this. I'm like, oh, thanks. So I didn't worry about it, because people were actually kind. They didn't want to see me lose something that was a piece of it. But one day nobody noticed, and I never saw that piece again. It's funny how something so thin and so cheaply made could make no sound as you're walking by, even when your footsteps are completely muffled. I've always questioned that to this day. How did I not hear it fall off? And the answer is always the same. I may never know. Yeah, delete all these for now, because I'm not going to need these. Okay, well, that part I do want. On the off chance I don't get to add as much detail as I possibly can here. Because that is pretty similar to what it is I'm going to be using for that section. Okay, I'm going to need black concrete. I need you. I'm going to need some white clear glass. Not white stained, I want white and clear. Clear, able to see through. I want to be able to look out that window and know somebody knows that I'm staring back at them in a very awkward manner, you know what I'm saying? Hey buddy, you outside my door? Oh yes, I'm looking at you. Hello, 911? There's a man outside my door. He's staring at me in a very awkward manner. Hello? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What else am I going to need here? Something to balance out the details. So let's go with the polished blackstone stairs again, because that's one of the closest things I'm able to use here. Actually, there's a lot of line work on here, so I'm gonna swap this up for once. I'm actually gonna go with the polished blackstone brick stair, and a little bit of extra line work, because there's a lot of lines on this. I am serious. There's a whole bunch here. Adding that might refine the detail just slightly. There's also a light that comes on here, and a little button at the bottom. So, adding in factors for these details, I'm also going to be needing a polished blackstone slab and some type of black post. Unfortunately, we don't have one. The closest one we got is nether brick, and nether brick has red hue in it, so that's not going to cut it. So I have no choice but to go with the blackstone wall. I'm hearing those creepy sound effects again. Why is it every time I look around those sounds disappear? What is up with the creepy sound effects? I'm in a flat world. There are no caves nearby. The only cave right here could be considered this area, and this one has windows, so I don't even call it a cave, and I'm actually giving it decent lighting. So I don't even want to hear it. I'll show off my ceiling tiles here in just a moment, in case anybody's curious of what I ended up doing. Let's see, there's a light that pops up inside. So I'm actually going to try to trick the system later. Right, I'm going to need that as well. Oh boy. Let's just grab that one for now. Yeah, okay. Worry about the lighting later. Let's see, there's a light that pops up inside, and I want it to show off as the green. I explained this in one of my recent videos, but there is a BeyLogger here, and the BeyLogger sits right on top of your launcher, aka your ripcord or your string launcher. And there's a little button that attaches right to this little peg, right inside the launcher, so when you put a Bey on the bottom of said launcher, this little rod shoots up and it pushes that little peg straight up towards this little button, and this little button will send a signal to the actual BeyLogger. It'll make a noise, and then it'll start flashing a green light. When you see that light, that means it's ready to record data, or data, however it is you want to pronounce it. And when it records this data, it records how powerful your launches are. The more powerful the launch, the bigger the number. The bigger the number, the more impressive it's going to be when people actually look at it. Unfortunately, a lot of them are based in the Japan area, and in order to use the Japan version to get Bey points for prizes online, you have to... I think it was something to do with a VPN. They had to make using a different Gmail or something, or phone number for a different country. And I'm not going to sit there and make a whole new system just to use something that's out of country. It's unfair, it's rigged, it's biased. It's rigged because it's not for my country, or any other country but theirs. And it honestly gets on my nerves. Like, I want to be a part of this too, dang it. But no, I can't because I'm not in the same country. And there are people in my area who did bypass it, did end up getting points from it, but I don't get that luxury because I'm not going to do it. I'm literally waiting for them to make something that's exclusive only to ours, or everybody's. Hopefully everybody's, actually, because then it'd actually be nice and fair to all. But nope, it's only exclusive to that particular area, so that excludes, i.e., me, and everybody else in my area. That's why they do it, and that's why I haven't. And it honestly sucks. It's fine, though. Life's unfair. You gotta live with it sometimes, even if it hurts. Alright, now where do I start with this thing? These white parts here. Oh yeah, I was going to show off the ceiling real quick. My mind's just jumping from topic to topic right now. I am sorry. So I'll show this off real fast, and then I'll start building here. Okay, good. I still got those tiles. I don't know which one of these has a light under it. Let me see. Which area is brightest? Nope. No, that one's a little bit darker. There we go. I knew there was one in here somewhere. I just couldn't pinpoint it. Yeah, so it's really dark in here. If I get rid of these, this whole room actually turns almost black. So just look at this side real quick. Look how nice and bright and vibrant it feels. Now look at this one. See all these dark spots in here? This is what I'm trying to get rid of. And I thought, what better way to do that than to put a light in here and then just conceal it. And because there's blocks surrounding it, you don't actually see the light itself. But it still brightens up the room enough. So if you get rid of it, it gets darker. But the moment you add it, a whole bunch of that darkness just fades away. And I'm trying to get rid of as much of this darkness that's in here as I possibly can. And I'm trying to be super creative of how I did it. So I'm adding in a double floor system so I can actually do this method. It's painstaking, it takes a lot more blocks, a lot more time, a lot more patience, but it works. So after I worked on my last build in here, I started experimenting behind the scenes, working on it. I was going to record it and show it, but there wasn't really much to record. I was just building squares everywhere. And I thought, okay, this is really boring. I'm not going to bother uploading this. The only unique thing was this part, and I literally took a hacky sack, used it as a coin, just to get yes or no if I was going to end up with a design or not. Because I didn't have a coin on me at the time. And apparently the iron trapdoor was the winner. And it does give off a whole ventilation vibe here, so it actually looks like there's a vent going in here, keeping the place warm or cool depending on the season. Makes it feel a tad more realistic, and it's not overly gaudy, so it doesn't stick out to you when you walk in here. It blends in with the color scheme, and it looks pretty nice. So that is a nice little detail. But trying to figure out how I was going to put all this in here was tedious. It was annoying. I didn't know if I was going to have, like, 4 space tiles or 3 space tiles, or... I didn't know, and eventually I settled for 2 space. It's a bit more painful to build. It takes longer. So I got to make a whole lot more of them. But I'd say it turned out pretty good. And it actually lines up quite nicely with this whole edge here. It blends in a unique sense. Is it the prettiest thing in the world? No. Color-wise, it's pretty boring. It's actually kind of odd. And sad. But when you mix it with everything else in here, it does give off a pretty decent vibe. So I was trying to put lighting in here in a way that nobody would see it. So you see the carpet above is for the floor above. And this is the ceiling below. And then I put tiles over that. So you can't see the lighting I'm actually putting in here. I'm hiding it in the floor. I'm hiding it in the pillars. I'm hiding it every single area that you literally see in front of you. Oh, whoops. Thought that was that one. No. Yes, there we go. Better. I'm trying to add in all this stuff here, and it's not that easy, I'm gonna be honest. I'm putting in a whole bunch here and just cramming it together, And it's actually giving off a pretty unique vibe here. It actually feels like I'm looking at a museum. And on top of the ceiling here, we got our long, extreme ripcord winder. So there's already a whole bunch of features in here specifically dedicated only to Beyblade X. Is it the prettiest job I could have done individually for each one? No, I'm going to be honest. There are sections that do still bother me, like this part, for example. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to building a hyper-realistic build that's not going to do anything. I want people to look at it and think he actually spent some time on it. But overall, I'd say I'm doing a pretty good job so far. Anyways, on to building today's build, the BeyLogger. Maybe the last build. We'll see here. Okay, for starters, I need to put a light down there because I didn't do that yet. I came up with a new design for my pedestals. I don't know if you all noticed. But I started putting stairs in here to make it look just a little bit cleaner. And I missed a spot. Fine, I'll come back to you later. I wasn't thorough, apparently. Now, where do I start with this thing? There are so many areas in here that I could start with. I guess we can start with the very corner back here at the side. I'm actually going to try to keep this down to a 2-piece. So 2. Never mind! That's not going to happen unless I move it in farther. Okay, we might not have any space for another build here after all. So it starts at an angle, and then it builds at an angle, and then it wraps around at an angle. Literally, just like that. And I'm doing this all wrong, because I gotta build this off the ground here. This is already turning into a painful build. There's only 7 parts that are going to be contacting the actual ground itself. Adding that fact in, that's actually kind of sad. You know what? Just don't touch it. Don't touch it. You can fill it in later. There we go. Oh, wait, no, these angles aren't the same. Well, crappers! Criminally. No, but there's more bend than that. Ah! It's not as realistic as I want it to be. I personally hate this, but fine. We're gonna go with that. Yeah, so that's the main area of our BeyLogger here. And this will bend all the way down. And I'm just not going to fill this part in yet, because I haven't fully determined how big of a size I want this to be. Here. The BeyLogger is by far one of the biggest pieces on your launcher, and it has to be, because they got to put in space for the lighting, the control panel, the wires, the sensor. They got to put in space for the batteries that are going to be used to power it, to maintain the signal. And because it's not directly connected to a phone, that means it also probably has a pairing device inside of it. There's a lot that goes inside of this one little device. And it's so small, it's smaller than your hand. And yet, there's so much tech behind it. It's quite fascinating. And yes, I'm going to be extending this. This is why I don't make these panels solid. I keep it one side solid, determined, and then the rest of it I leave up for later debate. And in this case, oh, I'm definitely extending this one. Do not have the space to do what it is I need to do here. Okay. We're going to this side now. And we're going to add in our pegs. are little pegs that help it connect to the launcher in a secure fashion. There's 4 of these pegs. They don't really do much except guide it into the proper position. It's the white pieces that are truly important because they help snap it in place and keep it in place. But these pegs do assist with that. Actually, considering I'm making this a little bit larger, I might be able to... Might be. I guess I'll find out here in just a moment. Oh, yeah, I can actually do this. Okay. If I use that... This is already taking a lot of materials. I'm using enough to build within this place already. As is. Gosh, dang it. You know what? One step at a time. Alright, there's our first peg. Yeah, that seems fairly sized. Perfect! Because of this unique little detail, it's not gonna attach fully to our actual walls. Using a fence and a wall creates a little bit of spacing here, which means I can actually make this a little bit more realistic than I originally thought. Which is perfect! Okay, so we add a block here. Yeah, that seems about right. So the white piece connects to this little black nub, and this nub helps to secure it, because it's a rotating item to help snap in place on top of the launcher. And then down here at the bottom, let's go ahead and add some wood. Pale oak slab. Thank you, Minecraft, for the white block update. That's close enough. That's actually pretty similar to how it looks here. And I can just extend it by 1. That's pretty much what the little snap attachment looks like. And now we just do the same thing on the other side. So match this with the floor. There's our line. That matches up. We build this down. Huzzah! And now we do the exact same thing here. Oh no, I didn't match it with the floor. Whatever shall I do? Extends. I lost the light in the process. It's fine, I'll edit it later! I could just move this over 1. I have enough flaws in this place already. I don't need one more. Hint of advice, kids. If you ever decide to pursue construction as your career, when they tell you to measure twice and cut once, this is why. So you don't have to redo what you've already done. And now I gotta redo that whole floor. That is such a pain. It's fine, though. It's fine. I signed up for this level of annoyance when I decided to do all this. It's fine. It's fine that there's our second set of pegs here. I'll just edit the floor later. Again. It's fine. Alright, already we're getting a decent shape here. I'm sorry, I wanted to get through all that, and I didn't want to redo that, and I had to redo it anyway, so that was very vexing for me. Very annoying. Alright, what's next here? I'll have to look up an image of the top layer afterward, but for the moment, I think... Yeah, 3 blocks should do it. 3 blocks high. That should give us the size we need. And it won't interfere with that one either. So that's perfect. 2 blocks to give the body shape and design, and then a third to add on that top layer of detail just before they add on the plastic layer. That can work for us here. So let's add in some detail here so we can actually determine how big of a size we need for this BeyLogger. That part looks fine. It creates a small little denture, or divot, or decrease in thickness, size, whatever terminology you want to use here. About here. Goes on for a little bit, I'm going to say about there, and then it maintains the same correct size here for, I'm going to go about 3 blocks, and then it does the same thing again, roughly the same size. So we took out 5 here, so I'm going to take out 5 again, and then it goes on for approximately another 3 here. And then it starts rounding off here at the end, using the exact same shape we had at the beginning. So 1, 2, 2, 1. That's our pattern here. So 1, go out 1, 2, go in 1, we go 2, in again, 1. Rain, you're so beautiful. I heard your sound and it messed me up. I just realized I can really be taken out of context there. Whoops. It's beautiful. Listen to it. The sound of nature. Oh, rain, rain, do not go away. Please stay here for another day. You are one of my favorite weathers. Alright, let's just go ahead and fill this whole bottom section with our black concrete. This build is shockingly very simple. It's just a little bit bulky and slightly odd to shape. Why they didn't just try making a basic rectangular shape? I'm guessing they wanted something a little bit more intricate and detailed that seemed more unique. Because, let's be honest, a continuous rectangular box for every battery compartment gets kind of boring after a while. So having some that are a bit more trapezoid-like or triangular, it gives off a more unique perspective. And it seems more interesting. So, I can understand the reasoning behind this. I get it. I'd be bored too. Just makes sense. Okay, so our little button lines up with these. Off by 1. Yeah. 3. Oh no, 4. Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't make it. Oh, I didn't make it fully. Okay. I don't have the space to move that out again. You know what? We're just going to leave this as is. I know it's inaccurate. But that's my decision here. I mean, it is close enough. If you stare at it at an angle, you don't fully notice that it's not centered correctly. It's only when you go to the other side that it looks a little bit off. I could just do this. Whatever, I'm not building these individual builds to be to scale anyways, so this actually works out for me. I can get behind this. And hilariously, it does seem close to the same size as some of the pegs here. Keyword here is close to the same size, not at the same size. So that's actually not going to bother me too much when I look at it. I know it's not fully accurate, but whatever. Point is, this little button sits right at the center of these pegs. It's dead set in the center between both of them. And that creates a balanced vibe, so it matches every single launcher you go to put it on. Mine's a tad askew, because I didn't fully realize that when I measured this out, that I used nothing but evens here. So I didn't space this correctly. And I'm not gonna move this whole build again. Alright, what else do we got here? I can't use shelving because we don't have any black shelves, do we? Yeah, that's what I thought. Closest we have is dark oak, and that still looks brown, even from a distance. So that's not going to happen. I could use a different colored block to give it the appearance that it's lighter, as in it's a little bit farther away. Yeah, I'm just going to go with that. That plays tricks on the mind and makes it look a little bit nicer from a distance, even though that's not fully accurate. So this whole top section angles inward. Like so. Yeah, I can live with that. That doesn't bother me all that much. It's designed in this unique manner. So that all of this remains angled. And it matches up to about right there. There is a small area here where it goes inward for a little bit and then it goes back out, but I'm not going to add that in because I have no way to add that in with the limitations of Minecraft itself, unfortunately. And then right here at this point, we have our light. It sits just above this little peg, actually. So this actually works out perfectly. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add in a sea lantern. And I'm going to add in our light. Because it sits right there, that actually matches up. Oh wait, no, I'm off. Off by one. That'll match up with it, and then I can use regular glass for the rest of it. And this will create the illusion that we actually have a light that's on. That it's actually being powered here. Again, nothing too fancy, nothing too flashy, just, you know, it gets the point across in a unique way. So we can't see this layer underneath, so I'm going to fill that in here in just a moment. But before I do, do the same thing over here, because both these sides are practically identical. Yeah, let's go with that. So again, we can't see any of this. None of this is seeable. So let's just go ahead and hide this whole layer. I don't need to be fully detail specific here, which is actually for the best. I could throw in a pair of batteries, but I'm not going to do that. Be kind of funny, though. So, your batteries on the first floor need changing again. Alright, call in 5 guys. Let's go lift them. You need to move your ankle higher, Greg. I'm lifting it as high as I can, sir. Higher, Greg. The fate of our backs depends on it. You need to go to the gym more, Greg. I already work out plenty at work, sir. Work out more, dang it. You gotta lift higher, Greg. For the sake of all of us. Yeah, Greg. Yeah, you heard Anthony. Lift higher, Greg. That'd be funny. Funny and irritating. Alright, so our button sits right in here, but this is a rather unique button. It's not circular, it's not square. It's actually... It's kind of close to a rhombus, actually, but it's still more of a trapezoid. I don't know, this whole shape's up for debate. It has 6 sides to it, but it's not a hexagon. Hexagons are still pretty circular by design. When you look at them, they give off the view of like a pointed circle. Just a whole bunch of points on it. But this one's not shaped like a circle, it's shaped kind of like a rhombus. But it still looks like a trapezoid. I can't explain that any better than I currently am. I'm not sure how to explain that any better, actually. Let's use 2 different colors here, because these are 2 different areas. If I had to design this shape in a hyper-realistic manner, there's 2 parts here. It goes up a little bit, then it builds across, and then it goes along there, back to 2, across again, so this would be a side, this would be the second side, this would be the third side, this would be the 4th, this would be the 5th, and this would be the 6th. That would pretty much be the shape of the button. And then the whole shape of the area that the button sits on is actually a larger slab of that. Pretty identical, actually. But because I'm building this at a smaller scale, I'm not going to be able to add that level of detail. I just wanted to show you what it kind of looked like. It's just... Hearing those sound effects again. It's so weird hearing that. Even to this day, I always think something bad's about to happen. At least the rain's beautiful. Okay, so this doesn't make contact with the light here. That light's a little bit smaller, so I guess I'm overshooting my size here. In terms of building bases. So I'd say covers about that much space going along. And delete one of those. That gives us the accurate size of a light, give or take. This would be deleted just slightly. That's about the amount of space I'm going to have here. But this part sticks up a little bit, so that's exactly what we're going to do here. So build that up, build it around, bring it back down, and voila. And the button will sit literally right there. I specifically chose these because one looks just a little bit darker than the other, so it still gives off that vibe that there is something right there. And that's where the button's going to be. And the rest of this sits at the exact same height. Hilariously enough, a lot of this will actually bend down over and interlock in place here. So I'm gonna do this because I didn't get to add in that gap in here. This will give off the reference that this is where the plastic actually attaches for this area. And then let's just go ahead and fill all this in, because each of these actually has a plastic cover. I was hoping to add in a unique colored panel on here, but I think I'm just not going to do that now. Because truth be told, I've seen a lot of BeyLoggers, and a lot of people actually give theirs pretty unique color schemes. So I'm just going to keep mine black, because that's actually the standardized color for every single launcher when they actually get a BeyLogger for it. At least for Beyblade X, from what I've seen. I've seen people make some designed just for multi. I've seen them make them designed just for Robin or Blader X. I've seen them put Pokemon on here. I've seen them put Yu-Gi-Oh on here. You don't know how many of these unique BeyLoggers I've actually seen. It's pretty cool how creative everybody can be with their equipment. Mine was more of a multifunctional vibe. So I just kept the standardized color, and then I just put levels on my stuff. Modified the equipment, increased strength, durability. Sometimes even spin rotation, but nothing too crazy. If anything, I only increased the rotations about, like, maybe one. It wasn't even that much. I never really tried to win at any of the Beyblade X tournaments. There was only 2 tournaments I went to I actually tried to win. One of them I came in 2nd, the other one I came in 4th. That's not bad for actually trying to win. But it's kind of difficult when everybody has the latest equipment before me. It's kind of infuriating, actually. They're like, oh yeah, I paid for early day shipping, so I got it just before this tournament. Oh, mine's still on back order, apparently. It'll ship out in a week. Oh, it's too bad, man. Yeah, it's too bad. I look back at those moments and I'll laugh. Paying all that extra money just so you could try to win a tournament. That's funny. I actually miss going to tournaments a little bit. But I'm happy, I'm content. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm building here in Minecraft a place that is literally my home. I could not be happier. I miss doing this. I miss building in Minecraft, just enjoying myself, having a good time. Yep, I knew it. I wasn't going to be able to extend that any further. Any further, and I'd be very close to the carpet, and it would overlap right here where this pillar is. I wasn't going to have that. Okay, I don't have space for another build here. I thought I might have space, but this thing took up way more space than I thought it was going to, so we're not going to do that now. I'll have to come back around and edit the corners, because I don't have that piece on me at the moment. First things first, though, fill this in. It takes a lot of blocks to build a unique world. But it is worth it. Do Okay, that all looks fine. You could stand to be a tad brighter. Oh yeah, that looks much better. I like that a lot. And that part's a little bit too dark. Let's add in one there. It hurts my eyes a little bit every time I do this, but I'd rather have a bright room than one that monsters can spawn in. I've been to a lot of different worlds where they don't factor that in, and then somebody tries adding in survival, and suddenly, pfft, it's just purebred chaos. You ever build a base and then you build your whole room first and then you forget to add in lighting and you walk inside your house and there's just a whole bunch of monsters right there waiting for you? You're just like, nope, I'm out. I didn't want this. Oh, I'll wait. And you come back an hour later and there's even more. Oh boy. Good times. Good times. You gotta love Minecraft sometimes. Oh, it leaves you with memories. Memories that will last forever. Alrighty then. Let's get you. Edit these corners a bit. Makes it look just a little bit nicer. Oh, wait. Oh no! It's not gonna work! Okay. Is it because of you? I'm gonna take that as a yes. You know what? That is fine. I'll just make a workaround. Ha! I'll put the sign here. Yeah, that'll be okay. That's not what I had in mind, but we're just going to work with that. You know, I don't even know why I grabbed the wax versions. Because, I mean, it's already oxidized. It doesn't need to be wax here. But I guess it'll prevent it from changing any further if they ever add a new one. So, I guess that's okay? I don't know. Shockingly, that doesn't really bother me at all. Even though it's off by just a hair. Ah. Cramp in the neck. Painful. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have a BeyLogger. All the standardized equipment for a Beyblade tournament. Stadium, string launcher, ripcord launcher, BeyLogger, and a 3D printed attachment. Or two. All standardized equipment found in a tournament. All inside one room. And that's just for the X side. There's still all these other areas I haven't even begun to work on. I still don't have any original era Beyblades. I keep looking and looking, and I'm at the point I might just give up on building them at this point. I still want to build them if I get my hands on some, but the pricing is just ridiculous. There's no way I can even find any. I was probably like 2 years old when this stuff was actually taking off and taking storm. And I didn't even hear about Beyblade until I was in middle school, and by then I was like, what, 12? Quite some time changed between the two. And by then I was only hearing about the Metal Fight era, and that era was actually close to the end of its time at that point, and Burst was actually starting to take hold. So I finished up Metal Fight and went straight into Burst. But I was literally always a Metal Fight era kind of person. That's the era I stick in the most. It's where I fit in. It's where I feel like I belong. X, I don't know. I still love it, don't get me wrong. All the unique stuff is truly fascinating to me. I mean, I got my preference, and I prefer the Metal Fight era. I still love it, though. And this feels like a safety hazard, so I'm actually going to do this. You know, no. Make that the same color as the floor. There we go. The last thing I'd ever want is to have a museum exhibit where kids are walking around, and all of a sudden the whole thing just falls on top of one of them. That would break my heart. I would not stop apologizing to those parents. I would give them free passes for life if that actually happened. And I would feel so sorry every time I saw them, as I should be, because it'd be my fault for negligence. There we go. That should keep it sturdy enough. Sure, it's Minecraft. There's no realistic physics in here. But that being said, if real-life physics does end up happening, then I'd rather know that nobody's gonna get hurt due to things like gravity. So we're just gonna do that here. Oh, you're not making contact at all, are you? Okay, there we go. Those will act as supports. That'll prevent any real injuries here. Because gravity's not going to be affecting anything. I'm trying to make it feel like I'm actually putting in safety thoughts here. Because I want it to feel like the real deal. Okay. Now we just add in the signs, and this build is done. Hallelujah. Oh, I forgot I accidentally hit the caps lock earlier. Whoopsie! I can't spell for crap here. BeyLogger. BeyLogger. Can I get a BeyLogger? I cannot spell. Might as well call it BeyLoggered or BeyLagger. Beys swagger. No, I'm kidding. Alright, that section's done. Delete that. Add in some light to you. Keep that one black in color. Oh, did I not? Oh, I thought I did that. I did not. Okay. Whoops. Yeah, there's that one I didn't come back to. There we go. Finally! Progress! It's beautiful! Look at this lovely, lovely room full of Beyblade X items. If there was a museum like this, I'd be so happy every time I just walked in the door. They'd have to hire a bunch of security guards, though. No, I'm serious. How many exhibits would they even have? How many bays would be on display? How many names would be measured on the walls of great bladers or influential people that actually helped bring it to its great glory? You'd have to have a lot of security. It'd be awesome, though. Alright, let's just clear up my inventory a little bit here, because I have too much stuff on me. There we go, it's a little bit cleaner now. And there's one more thing I want to do here before I end this video, because a few more people did sell some Beyblades to me recently. And some donated a few as well, so I want to mention their names here real quick. I know we're a bit over 45 minutes because we're at 55 right now, so I do apologize. But I wanted to mention these names real quickly. I did not have a lot of Beyblade stuff on me, so I've been combing the internet trying to find people willing to sell them. Just stuff I didn't have, stuff I definitely would need later on to build inside this world. Some of them are official sites, some of them are actual people just trying to sell stuff. So I'm trying to keep things separated here in a rather unique can't even talk. Unique manner. Yeah. So we got Mala Toys, Target, GameStop, Walmart. All of these are official sites or stores that you can find out there where you can actually buy stuff. I'm going to add another one here to this list, actually. The Bay Warehouse. This is an official site. You can buy Beyblades from this place. And they do have a pretty good selection. They've sold me quite a few Beyblades in the past. I'd say it's a pretty trustable site. Same with Mala Toys. Both of these are really good. Target and Walmart is a bit given. You're going to find stuff better online than in person. Probably same thing with GameStop. I don't know if GameStop sells them online, so don't take my word for that one. I've only ever seen their stuff in person. All of these people right here, I thank you for selling me the stuff that you did have. And I'm going to add 2 more names right here. So thank you. Trying to find the name on this box real quick. Thank you, Sarah Heck-Dolliner. Okay, I was just double checking. I did spell all that right. So thank you. And also I want to thank Anne. I gotta look this one up real quick. I have it on a different box. It's not near me. Sorry about that. Thank you, Alyssa Nelson. Thank you, each and every one of you who have been helping me, selling me stuff I did not have. I am serious. A lot of the stuff that you have all sold me has been things that I didn't even know existed in the Beyblade universe. I've gotten Beys from a lot of you that I'd never even heard of. I've never even seen molds of. I've never fought against. So seeing this stuff has actually been a surprise for me. And some of the stadiums I got from some of you has actually been rather intriguing. This one right here, for example. I'm trying to move my face out of the way because it's quite large. This right here is actually a turbo stadium. Again, I had never seen this stadium in my life. I've never even fought on this stadium. It's actually a little bit bigger than regular stadiums that you find from areas like Hasbro. So this took me by surprise. And there was also a rather unique Beyblade Burst Stadium that actually had 2 sides to it. You could flip the whole stadium upside down for just one-on-one matches or literally team battles. And I thought that was really intriguing seeing all that. Again, I didn't know any of this existed, so seeing all that's been really fascinating for me. Add that with all the unique Beys that I've gotten from all of you. It's actually been really interesting for me. Rather entertaining, actually. I've gotten molds I didn't even know existed, and some of them I still don't even know the names to. I just know what they look like from trying to find the matches online. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Thank you so much. There's probably going to be a lot more names I'm going to add on here someday. But for now, this is the extent of what I currently have to add. I know there's a few more names that I'm going to be adding on here eventually. I just don't know where I put them. I tried to save as much packaging material as possible from people I actually bought from. No, I'll just worry about that later. But for now, that's the best I have to offer here. It's the very least I can do, because I wouldn't be able to build the stuff there without any of you actually helping me. So thank you to every single one of you. And this place is really starting to come together. Makes me eager to see how the rest of this is going to turn out later. This side's going to be empty for a long time, unfortunately, because I don't have anything to offer right now. I don't have a launcher, I don't even have a stadium, I have literally nothing. Literally nothing. I'm at the point where I might just put something else in this area instead, because I can't find anything, and every time I do, it's always out of my price range. So that stinks, but not much more I can do here. This area, I do have some things I can build. I do have some launchers. I do have a stadium or two that I could build in here. So this side is actually doable. And I've got more than enough to build for the regular burst era. I've gotten so many different burst items now, thanks to all of you. I don't even know where to begin, I'm gonna be honest. I have almost 20 different launchers alone that I could build inside of here. There's so many different versions that I could build here. I've got burst, I've got turbo, I've got slingshot, I've got hyper spear launchers, I've got a quad drive launcher, left rotation launchers, I have the altered launchers for the type of thing that was literally used by Shu Kernai when he was Red Eye. There's so many launchers here now that I can't even pick. I might just leave it to a coin toss. I'm serious. Better a die, and I think I'll do that. I think I'll get it like a 20-sided die or something and just make each number represent one launcher, and I'll just build whatever I land on. I'm serious. There's that many that I could pick from. Stadium-wise, I'm going to have to go for something a little bit smaller because I don't got a lot of space inside this corner. But I can still pick out something nice to put in there. Overall, this is turning out very nice. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any more 3D printed items inside this room. I am sorry, but there's no 3D printed related items for any of these eras. At least not like these ones. There were some 3D printed Beys in the Burst era. But if there were any 3D printed ripcords or 3D printed grips, I have yet to see anything like that was made around that time period. If there's anything that's on the market, it's most likely being made now, in this time period of X. So that's not the same time period. I'd rather see stuff that was actually designed, built, and made in that exact same era as Burst was around. But when it was around, I never saw that stuff being shown around that much. I mean, there were some Beys, yeah, but were there grips? Were there launcher attachments? Was there anything like that? Not around that time period, as I am fully aware. So That's probably going to be the only 3D printed builds in here, is the giant winder up there, the giant ripcord, and this gripper. And although that kind of stinks, that's not what I had in mind. That's all I'm going to have here. But launchers and stadiums, I have an overabundance of what I can build in here. So that I can do. In fact, I think I'll do that. I'll pick out a few spots in here to build a couple small burst launchers. And I'm sure I can find a small metal fight launcher in here that I could put there somewhere. Maybe. I'll see. In the meantime, though, I need to start thinking about what I'm going to do next. Do I want to work on the walls outside? Do I want to build up the next floor? Do I want to start another Beyblade? There's so many builds I could start with to continue on. I don't know. But this is nice. We're now 1/4 of the way done with this floor. I do like how this is turning out. So I'm going to start thinking about what I'm going to do next here. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you like this video, then by all means, give it a like. And if you want to see more, then please subscribe. And like always, this is Menace Snowdecker signing off. And I will see you next time. So bye-bye. Have a great day, everybody. And don't forget to smile. Because remember, a smile a day goes a long way. And I hope to see you all back here again soon. Hey, one more thing before you go. Could you please check out the links in the description below. Give them a follow. And join the Discord server as well. Recommend more games for me to play. And some more Beyblades for me to build. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.